Hello, everybody. What is going on? And welcome to the Real Madrid versus Galatasaray match preview, which will be taking place tomorrow at the Santiago Bernabeu. On for a big game. Tomorrow's going to be like a final. Some very, very interesting words from Zinedine Zidane coming out in the press conference. I'll be talking to you guys about that. The big discrepancy, the big talking point is going to be about Gareth Bale, obviously. The omission of Gareth Bale from the squad. He's going to be fit for next week for Wales. So a big discrepancy there. We're going to be talking about that. A few other things to be talking about as well. But first, let's get right into the match details. So I want to get into the minutiae of the game. It's going to be held at the Santiago Bernabeu, as I said, tomorrow. Let's see here. Is there anything else? Bale obviously going to be omitted from the squad. Asensio is also obviously omitted from his ACL injury, and Nacho is going to be out as well for one of his knee injuries as well. Another interesting thing is that Rodrigo is in the squad all the while Vinicius is out of the squad. So Rodrigo's in the squad. Vinicius, I think, is out of the squad if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Vinicius is out of the squad. He's not going to be featured tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's the case. I have to check back and corroborate that. In the news outlets. But there you go for that. So let's go into the press conference and what Zidane kind of had to say about the whole Gareth Bale situation, I guess. So one of the first questions was obviously that Gareth Bale hasn't not been called up for Real Madrid for tomorrow's Champions League game, but he has been called up for the Wales squad next week. He hasn't played since his injury. If he doesn't play, he will not have played this period, I believe, if he doesn't play with Eibar. So let's see. So I think the question was, is Real Madrid preparing Bale for the Wales squad or the other way around? And Zidane just said, no, we don't do that. What we want is for the player to be well, and at the moment he is not well, not prepared to train with consistency. And we will see day by day that his country summons him is their right. It's an international match day for FIFA, and we don't get ourselves into that. What the player wants is to get well. We can't doubt what he wants. He suffers first. We'll see how he goes this week, and we'll assess the situation later to see if he's ready. But at the moment, he's not ready. So that's what Zidane had to say. At the moment, he's not ready. It's the country's right to summon him if they see the situation fit for it. But at the moment he's not ready, and that's pretty much what Zidane said. But I think the huge discrepancy here is that he's going to be ready next week. How can we foresee the events of the future unless we've got clairvoyant abilities? Then we can't really do that. But there you go for that. That's what Zidane had to say about that, and I'll get more into it as I kind of unravel more things of the press conference. But there you go. That was pretty much the first question. So the next question is going to be about Ryan Giggs. Obviously, there was a question about obviously Ryan Giggs told I don't know if Bale. I think it was Bale that was in communication with Ryan Giggs, and obviously Ryan Giggs has been told that he. I don't know how it went. I'll have to recheck it, but there's huge discrepancies here, and I'll address that right now. So there was another question about Mbappe. Also, I think let's see here. Yesterday, So the question goes: yesterday we were told about the Monaco president had to say about Mbappe before going to PSG. He wanted to grow in Paris and then go to Madrid. What are your thoughts on Mbappe's thoughts? Do you advise this, or do you think he'll come to Real Madrid? So the answer from Zidane was it's the player that'll decide on this. At the moment, is a PSG player. We will see in the future what will happen. But I know anyways that he said his dream was to play for Real Madrid. So there you go. That's pretty much what was said on Kylian Mbappe, coming to Madrid, and the comments after the Monaco's president's kind of words. So obviously Mbappe to Madrid, that's going to happen one day. I think we all kind of anticipate that. We all expect that. It's just a matter of time. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But he is definitely one of those players that will get you off your seat. He's kind of one of those next big players that are coming up. So I think he would be a great asset for the club. I think he would be a great asset. So anyways, moving on. The next question is, let's see, there was a few questions about Gareth. I want Gareth to stay with us. The whole January transfer saga and things like that. People are kind of talking about him maybe leaving in January and things like that. I think Zidane wants him to stay throughout the season. I think to be honest, for my opinion is I would like to see Gareth Bale stay throughout the season. I wouldn't want him to leave just because I feel he's got a role to play this season. However, I think come next summer, I would like him to I would like him to get sold. And not in such a vindictive manner, but just saying, you know what, thank you for everything, but it is time to move on. Because we do see this time and time again where he gets injured, and we need to get someone else. We need to get some fresh blood, and I think that's at the end of the day, I think that's what we need. Let's see. There was a question about James Rodriguez. Also, he hasn't been. The question goes along the lines of he hasn't been back since Istanbul. Then he went to Colombia. Will he be back, and will he be available? And the answer from Zidane was it's similar. He's not available right now. He's got a niggle, and it's a day by day situation. And I can't tell you exactly what he has, and that's the reality. He's not available. Hopefully, he's back soon. I want all my players to be available. So that's pretty much the thing with James Rodriguez. He got a little niggle apparently, so we'll have to see when he comes back. But again, it's the trust with Zidane sometimes I just feel like it's kind of dwindling down. The reason I say that is because after the kind of the events with Gareth Bale and everything like that, the way there's a big discrepancy here, and the thing is that he's injured at the moment, but he's going to be fit next week, and that's kind of what's perturbing me at the moment is that he's not fit to play tomorrow, but he's going to be fit next week. I can't seem to understand it. I can't seem to get my head around that. I don't know what's the situation with Bale. To be honest, before today, I really didn't have any qualms about Gareth Bale's situation at the club. I really thought he was injured and things like that. But today with Zidane's press conference and what he had to say about Gareth Bale, it really raises some doubts. To be honest, to be called up for the Wales squad, it does raise some doubts. Is he really fit? Is he not fit? What's going on? I don't even know if Zidane knows, to be honest. So there you go for that. Let's see here. The next question. So we're going to go to another question here, and probably one of the last questions. It was about Bale's relationship. Do you have a good relationship with Bale? I mean, he just said we say hi to each other every day. He said, I want the truth. I love my players. We can't all have the same relationship, but nothing has happened in between Gareth and me, not even this summer. When he was about to go at the end, the situation is that he's here. I'm happy. He's a great player, but it's a message to you as well, and you have to stop saying the same things. That he's going to leave before the end of the game. When I was playing, the same was happening. We could leave before the end of the game for whatever reason. The important thing is that the player is with the team before the game, during the break, supporting the team. Anyways, you guys try to find things that, and then he goes on to say, everyone has their right, but anyways, they're with the team because at the end they want to see the team win. So here, let me just point out a few things that, some important points here. So what he's saying basically in this is, he's got the 25 players at his disposal. Nothing has happened between him and Gareth, not even in the summer, which, obviously there was. And I think this, I guess you could say the equivocating of this answer is bringing some mistrust. And, not even the summer one is blatantly obvious that there was something there. I can understand professionally that probably there wasn't as much there as the tabloids and as the news outlets, kind of did talk about it, but I think there was still something there despite all that. I think the media did make it a big deal. It did make it a bigger deal than really it had to be, but I think there was something between Gareth Bale and Zinedine Zidane. Even his agent, Gareth Bale's agent, has said that. So, yeah. And then he says, let's see here. So the situation, he's here. I'm happy. He's a great player. So I think Zidane always had, he always had to backtrack after what happened after the whole ordeal in the summer. He was always going to backtrack in the summer, or he was always going to backtrack. Now especially that we didn't really sign Gareth Bale, or we didn't really sell Gareth Bale. He was always going to have to backtrack, and I think he did have to backtrack. I think that's only normal. I think in terms of professionally speaking, I don't think Zidane had the biggest problem with Gareth Bale. I think the only problem that he had was his unreliability. I think it's down to the injuries that Gareth Bale was, there was this animosity between Gareth Bale and Zidane, and I think it really comes down to the lack of reliability from Gareth Bale. And really, like I said in the summer, when you can't rely on someone to come in every day for work, and you can't depend on that person every single day, then it becomes very, very difficult for a coach to do to depend on that player. And eventually, of course, if they can find a replacement, then they do. And it goes the same, the same principles apply to the workplace as well. So I think he's so there was another part to this answer as well. So he's obviously going to leave before the game. So I think it was because Gareth Bale, and I'm not sure if this is correct. I'm surmising here, but again, I think this is because Gareth Bale might have left before the end of the Real Betis game. And he basically really just downplayed it. He said, when I was playing, the same was happening. We could leave before the end of the game for whatever reason. The important thing is that the player is with the team before the game, during the break, and supporting the team. So I think the thing here is, from what I can infer, is that Gareth Bale probably left before the game, but Gareth Bale was there, throughout most of the game anyways, and that the media are trying to really create stories out of nothing, to be honest. So I think that's pretty much the big important things that I wanted to address about Gareth Bale's situation. It's a bit of quandary. I really don't know what to make of it. I don't think we have all the information to really infer too much about it. I guess up to today I had no problem with it. Now after today, when I look at Gareth Bale's included in the matchday squad for the Welsh squad, and he's not included for tomorrow's squad. Unless you're not unless you're a clairvoyant, how can you see that Gareth Bale's going to be fit for next week? However, if he doesn't play next week, if he's just in there for for mentality purposes or things like that, then okay. But if he's there and he's playing next week, then I can't seem to understand why he's not playing tomorrow. I don't know if there's some discord between, Zinedine Zidane, Gareth Bale. I don't know really what's going on at the moment. But hopefully, as time goes on a little bit more, hopefully I can kind of unravel that and try to decipher what's going on in the news, because at the moment I'm not really sure. So there was, a couple questions from Marcelo as well. Marcelo had a little segment for his press conference. He kind of said it'll be like a final this upcoming game. We have 4 points. Galatasaray has 1 point. If Galatasaray wins, then they get 4 points, and pretty much, they're pretty much level with us. We should get through. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're gonna be able to get through. But we still have to win versus Galatasaray, and we're still gonna put out our best team. And I think that's the team that I have put out. I think that's the team we're gonna go with. I think Zinedine Zidane really doesn't want to mess around with the team too much. He wants to bring in some experience. So I think that's the team we're gonna go with right there. Let's see here. I know there was a question about him being an auxiliary player, and that he's in a better moment this year, and Marcelo just said, I do see myself a lot better. I've worked for it. I don't see myself as a peripheral player. I see myself, but I don't see myself as an undisputed starter either. I see myself, just as another player, just as the rest of the 25 players in the squad. And he did talk about the difference between Champions League and La Liga. He said that they're the same. They're on the same level, I guess you could say, in terms of importance to them. He talked about La Liga, how he's only won a couple of them in the long, 2 or 3 of them, I think, in the span that he's been here. So not very many for Marcelo. So I'm sure that's playing in their minds a little bit. And there was another question about anxiety attacks. How hard it is to play for Madrid. And I thought that this was quite interesting. So he said, basically what he said is, at the beginning it's more difficult to play for Real Madrid, but when you get used to it, when you get used to the external pressures, it becomes easier. And he says, well, not easy, but easier. And he says it's always there, and this is the cost for playing for the best team in the world. You have to have a lot of responsibility because you're playing for the best club in the world. The pressures are outside as well. I think in all the jobs we can have anxiety. So I think it was really, really nice from Marcelo to kind of say this. because we don't understand a lot of the pressures that Real Madrid players face, and we can only understand it to some extent. But I think when you're in the job, it's a lot harder. And it was really nice to see Marcelo relate this to real world problems, where we kind of all have our own problems. And he pretty much said, I think in all jobs we can have some anxiety, and that's why when I said this, I had the intention of telling the world that we are the same, that we have our own problems as players. We have daily problems in the family, at work, and but there are things, by telling the story, I hope I can leave some kind of message. So he pretty much just says that the players have their own problems. They have their own problems to deal with, to sort out with, and kind of interesting to see this. It removes some of the gap that sometimes we adulate these not celebrities, but we adulate these soccer players. And I say soccer players, I should say football players. We adulate these football players, and we make of them, these people, these beings without any problems, but in the end, we can see that they're just people like you and me, I guess. So there you go. That's for the press conference. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm gonna go with this lineup right here. Hopefully, that's what we're gonna line up with tomorrow. I think it's a lot of experience in that team. With one youngster obviously being Rodrigo, but other than that, you pretty much have an experienced squad there. And hopefully we do get the win. Yeah, Jonas, yeah, not a lot of people. Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's why it is. Yeah. Now, people not here because of UCL. There you go. I should have remembered that, actually, and that's probably my fault. Man, dang it. I should have remembered that. Van de Beek just scored. There you go. And about Real Madrid, I think they'll underestimate Galatasaray tomorrow, says Jonas, and I think so too. I definitely think that it's not going to be an easy game. But I think I think Marcelo treating it like a final, I think that helps a little bit, to be honest. It definitely does help. I think Marcelo's words were pretty concrete. It's going to be like a final tomorrow. Van de Beek just scored. Very, very good news. Hopefully he does come to Real Madrid. I guess we're waiting for him, right? We're waiting for him to sign. So there you go. I guess that's pretty much it. Not a lot of interaction today, but as Jonas was saying, people not here because of the Champions League football, and I should have known that actually earlier. But there you go. I think that's the press conference. I have a feeling Galatasaray will make it nervy. I think so too. Especially that we're playing at home. It seems like we're always playing away when we're playing at home. So it's definitely going to be, it's not going to be the easiest games. But my prediction, I'm going to go with a If I can go with the prediction, maybe you got Galatasaray, Real Madrid at home. If anything, I should go maybe, let's say 3-2. I'm going to say 3-2. I think it's going to be a 3-2 game. I'm just going in, off visceral feelings, nothing too, no arguments, nothing like that, just visceral feelings. I'm going to go 3-2 Real Madrid. Hopefully we do make it through, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Holy shit. Thanks, man. I did have a shave. That's funny. I'll laugh for that. Come on, man. Jonas says, David, next time, can you do a preview after UCL instead of during? I think Real will win 2-1. Yes, definitely. I did. Totally forgot about that. I was oblivious to that. And, yeah, I really didn't think about that. Really didn't consider that. So I definitely will. My bad for that. My apologies. I'll do it after this UCL next time. So there you go. That's pretty much it. When does the match start? Says Ali Akbar. It depends which country you're in. But let me check from my end what time the game is at tomorrow. 2 p.m. for me. It's a U.S. Central Standard Time. So, for everyone maybe in Spain, I think it's 10 p.m. or something like that. So something like that, I guess. Yeah, there you go. So hopefully I do answer that, Ali. Sorry about that. There you go. Yeah, sorry, John. Sorry. I'm gonna get, hopefully I'll do it, later on next time. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'm gonna end it right there. I think Real Madrid are gonna win 3-2. I think it's gonna be very, very, very difficult. Indonesia, dude, welcome. Really, really happy to have you on. Really, really far, to be honest. So Indonesia, it's gonna be very maybe early over there. It's gonna be during the night. I like that. Holy shit. Your appearance is important. What if a hot girl is watching? There you go. I like that. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jonas. Yeah, thank you. Holy shit. Yeah. I know you commented about their haircut not too long ago, so there you go. Thank you. Thank you for scrutinizing that. Yeah. Go ahead, Jonas. Go ahead. You can watch the game. So I'm gonna end it right there, guys. Pretty much to recapitulate everything. It's pretty much just talking about the game. Obviously Bale and Zidane's situation. It's just not very, very good. The thing I have to say is if he does play next week, then we do have to question it a lot more. There's a lot of equivocation right now from Zinedine Zidane, in terms of answering Gareth Bale's questions, answering the questions pertaining to Gareth Bale. And let's see, obviously Marcelo talked a little bit about his anxiety attacks. And there you go. I think that was pretty much it. It's going to be at the Bernabeu. Hopefully we do win. I'm going to predict 3-2. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do a match reaction right after the game. So just be on the lookout for that. Just right after the game, you could just head on to the YouTube channel and I'll be live. So there you go for that. Thank you guys for watching so much despite the UCL. And have a good day. Thank you.